Today in pre-cal we're learning about standard form of a quadratic. The original form we learned was ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where these always fall with their relative coefficients. That's standard form. Vertex form, which may be new to you, is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. H and k should sound fairly familiar from when we did circles. The vertex then, remember vertex is the maximum or minimum. When it's written in vertex form, I can take it straight from here, and the vertex is hk. Now, I want you to look at and notice some things. Naturally, this sign is negative. Naturally, this sign is positive. So this one, when you pull it out, you're just taking out the number. This one, you're just taking out the number. You may want to think of it as the h. You're going to flip the sign. So just watch out for that and figure out how you want to remember it. That's for the vertex. For the axis of symmetry, remember we learned about that on Monday. That's just x equals the x value from the vertex, so x equals h. You just pull that all straight from the equation. To find where the maximum or the minimum occurs. So on your vertex, to find that, you're going to do f of h equals k. Okay, and we'll see more of that in practice here in a second. Part A for today is to find the vertex, axis of symmetry, and we're just going to do those two for now. So, number 1, f of x equals negative 4 times x plus 4 squared plus 1. Part A is to find the vertex. Remember, we're going to take that straight from the equation. We're going to pull out the h and k. So we're going to take out this 4. Notice the sign is positive, so it's a negative 4. Remember we said we were going to flip that one and leave the second one. So it's 4, 1, which means our axis of symmetry is x equals negative 4. And that's all we're looking at so far. Let's look at another example like that. Number 2, f of x equals 3 times x minus 1 squared minus 4. If we look at what's our vertex, we take out this 1, and it's positive, and the negative 4. And if we try to find our axis of symmetry, we get x equals and 1, straight from the point above. Okay, part B for today. We want to find the equation. Find the equation of the parabola with given vertex and through the point. Okay, example number 3. If the vertex is negative 2, 2, and the point is negative 1, 0. All right. We're going to use that general form that we learned up top, the vertex form. So we're going to do y equals a, because we don't know what that is, times x, and we're going to plug in our vertex. Remember, this sign is negative, so if we're plugging in negative 2, it becomes positive 2 squared plus 2. Then we can plug in our point so that everything will be filled in except for a. So we're going to do 0 equals negative 1. Oh, not negative 1, I'm sorry, that should be a. Right here, we're going to put in negative 1. Plus 2 squared plus 2. And work that out. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Squared is 1. So we have a plus 2. And if we subtract 2 from both sides, we can see that a is equal to negative 2. And I can plug that back into my original and get my full equation. So y equals, and plug in for a, negative 2 times x plus 2 squared plus 2. A lot of 2's there. And that would be our final equation. Okay, the next thing we want to look at, some more examples of stuff like that. Let me get a new sheet of paper, I'm out of space. Okay, example number 4. The vertex at negative 1, 4, and the point at negative 3, 0. Make sure that's in your view. Okay, same thing. We're going to start by plugging in h and k. So y equals a times x minus, and then the negative 1, which will become positive 1, plus 4. That's our general equation. Let's plug in our x and y. So we're going to do 0 equals a times negative 3 plus 1 squared plus 4. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2 squared, which is 4. To solve, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. We have negative 4 equals 4a. Divide both sides by 4, and a equals negative 1. Now we can plug that into our general equation up top here and do y equals negative, or negative 1, x plus 1 squared plus 4. And we have an equation that has that vertex that we were given and goes through the point negative 3, 0. Okay, the last thing we need to do is a part C, and that is to write two equations with the given intercepts. Two equations with the given intercepts. Those are x-intercepts. There we go. One opening up and one opening down. Now when we're talking about opening up and down on a parabola, we mean, does the parabola open up or down? Remember, anything that opens up has a positive, and anything that opens down is a negative. Let's look at some examples. So example number 5, if we have the point 0, 0 and 10, 0, those are our two x-intercepts. To figure out an equation that goes with those intercepts, we're going to make them into pairs. Now this kind of goes back to what we talked about yesterday with factoring. So we're going to do f of x equals, and this should be real easy for you to see that this is x plus 0 and x minus 10. Now this could have just as easily been x minus 0. But the reason we're doing that, guys, is because if we plug in 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. That's what makes that equal 0. And on this one, 10 minus 10 is 0. And so that's how we got that one. Kind of flip this sign is the way to think of that. Now, we can get rid of this plus 0 because that's not doing anything for us. So we have x times x minus 10. Let's go ahead and distribute that out. So we get x times x, which is x squared, and x times negative 10, which is negative 10. Okay? And then to find out our two equations, one of them we're going to leave like that. That would be the one that opens up because there's no negative in front of x squared. To get one that opens down, I'm just going to write f of x, and I'm going to flip all my signs. So I'm going to get negative x squared plus 10. Notice I flipped all my signs from there to there. And that's all that it takes to get me my two equations. It should be 10x, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, because we want to distribute that x to both. And so that would be my two solutions, my two equations. And that's it for that example. Okay, let's do one more and make sure that we've got this. Example number 6. 4, 0 and 8, 0. Okay, so f of x equals, and we want to set our two factors. So we have x, remember flip the signs, x minus 4 and x minus 8. If I want to get my general equation, I've got to FOIL that out. So I have x times x, which is x squared. I have x times negative 8, which is negative 8x. Negative 4 times x, which is negative 4x. And negative 4 times negative 8, which is positive 32. Then I have x squared. I combine my like terms, minus 12x plus 32. And that would be my first equation. On this one, notice that it opens up because the coefficient of x squared is positive. To get my second one, I'm going to do f of x equals and flip all my signs. So it'll be negative x squared plus 12x minus 32. And now I have two equations, one that opens up and one that opens down. You may want to write a note to yourself that to change from up to down, flip all signs so that you don't forget what you did there. Hopefully that will help you. The assignment today is a 4. It's page 135, numbers 38 to 48 even, 54 to 60 even, and 65 and 66. So those are just a few of each type. If you get stuck, let me know and I'll be happy to answer any questions.